there's a lot of confusion between what is AI automation, what is automation, and different stuff like that. In this video, I want to address once and for all the differences, how those can be applied in different areas of the business, and different stuff like that. So, with that said, let's jump into the video. AI automation, as the name implies, is the combination between AI and automation. And I know I could be finishing the video over here, but I think you deserve a little bit more nuisance than that. So, when it comes to different tasks that we need to do within a business, what we have is we have a matrix that would look similar to this one, where we have specific tasks that we need to do that are urgent and important, tasks that we could delegate, and tasks that we can automate. So in this case, we will focus on this specific quadrant over here. When we are talking about a different task that could be automated, everything falls within an automation spectrum, as I call it, where on one side we have the pure automation. So everything has a specific logic, everything is specific, if this, then that based, and all the processes are like very clear. And on the other side, we have autonomous AI, where AI takes every single decision within that specific process. You just give them a direction, and the AI should take care of that and give you back a response or give you back an output on that. AI automation falls somewhere in the middle, where you're using AI to handle decision making parts of different automation that traditional automation cannot handle on its own. So that is more or less the actual definition of that. Based on that, what I want to do over here is give you a little bit of a different example of what is automation and what is AI automation. To do that, I will use this example of lead routing and lead scoring as different processes that we do for a lot of our clients in the sales space. So lead routing is we want to route a lead to a specific sales team based on a specific set of criteria. So over here, let's assume that a company fills a form, and if in the form we have information such as the company number of employee, if the number of employees is more than 100 employees, we send that lead to the enterprise team. This is very strict, very direct, and the accuracy over here is 100% because if we have the number of employees, all the employees will be sent to their enterprise team regardless of any other metric. And so the benefit of this process is that it never actually makes mistake. On the other side, we have a lead scoring process where we want to analyze a lead, and based on specific criteria, we want to decide whether there is a fit or not for our company. So in order to do that, we generally have some decision making criteria for analyzing the lead, and then we will generally send over specific information. We could do that using a specific automation logic, such as if the lead comes from the United States and the lead is in this specific industry, then it could be valuable. But in that way, we will lose a little bit of nuisance. And so, in order to add that, what we can do is we can use AI. So, within the AI, we can send information such as, for example, the LinkedIn profile, the company website, and different data like that. And all of that obviously is unstructured data. So those are not specific numbers, but entire websites on different things. And then based on specific decision criteria that we define within the prompt, the AI will make a decision on that. Generally, over here, the accuracy could be like 85 to 90% on average. I would say if you fine tune the prompt and if you work a little bit more on the criteria, this could even jump up to 95%. But generally, this is never 100%. The reason for that is that on one side, on the automation side, we are dealing with a white box where we are able to see what is the process for evaluating a specific thing. So in this case, we know if company greater than 100 employees, then send to enterprise team. On the other side, we have a black box because we are putting information in an AI, in a LLM, and we don't know what we will get out of that. Yeah, we can definitely steer the output and make sure that the output is as similar as possible to what we want, but we will never have 100% precision on these processes. And this is also why using AI within specific automation processes is helpful, but needs only to be used in specific use cases and in specific key points of the automation, and should not be used all the time to solve every single problem. So generally, the question that I ask for the specific task is, are you okay having 90% accuracy on that specific task? Is that a problem? With that said, when does it make sense to apply AI automation, and what are the candidate process for that? For that, what I did is I created this specific framework that highlights what are the areas where AI is really useful in. So we have extract, categorize, create, and predict. Extract is when we have different unstructured information, such as emails, such as sales calls, different things, and we want to extract some specific data or some specific insights from that. So the goal over here is find information about from a data point. The other thing is the categorizer. So decide what this is. An example of this is the example of the lead scoring that we did in the past, where we pass over information such as LinkedIn profile, website, or whatever, and then we categorized on is this relevant to our team, is this not relevant to our team, and so on. The other component is the creation side, and this is where you see AI running on social media, creating different posts and things like that. And this is about generating different things, emails, proposals, summaries, different things like that. I personally not a big fan of the creation aspects, but I will create another video probably on that and how you can tackle the creation aspects in the best possible way. And the last component is the predict component, where you anticipate what's next. So, for example, you give some information about a sales call, and you say, "Can you anticipate? Can you understand what is the likelihood of this call converting based on the previous calls that you already have available?" Keep in mind that some parts of this could be combined. So, like for example, the example that I give you is extracting information and then predicting the information, or we can extract information and create information. So, like those different components can be possibly mixed and matched. Now, when does the AI automation fails? And those are the specific two use cases that I have. The first one is if you have cases where you don't tolerate any margin of error. So think about having a contract made wrong could mean losing millions of dollars, or think about not having a specific risk management process in order. And those are areas where you don't want to tolerate margin of error. The other component over here is I value client communication, where you want to make sure that you have the human touch, um, one for the experience, and secondly for the actual relationship that you are building for the client. Because in this kind of use cases, the relationship is better than the efficiency gains that you would get from automating that specific process. For both of these two things, what you can do is you can apply something that I call AI assistant with human in the loop for final revision, where you, for example, use AI to go up until the last mile, and then the last mile is something that needs to be done by the human. So, an example could be crafting a draft of a message, and then the human is the responsible of pressing the send button. This is generally the process that you apply when you are unsure about the actual final results, and something that you use prior to going straight through the automate everything immediately, so that you can evaluate what the outputs are and use those outputs and make improvements to the different workflows that you are creating. The last part that I want to talk about is what are the candidate processes for AI automation. So the idea here is there are three main categories of processes that you can have. One is you want better understanding of unstructured information, and unstructured information is something such as a transcript of a call, an email, something that you cannot give to a simple automation, and the automation could recognize what is being talked about and mentioned over here. Yeah, it could do that by identifying if a specific keyword was mentioned, but it doesn't catches all the different hidden patterns and all the different things which might be present. On the other side is making judgment calls based on specific patterns. So this is coming back to the example that we give at the beginning, where we have a specific topic such as routing leads, and then we have the decision making process, and then from that decision making process, we categorize them. And finally, over here, we have creating variation of similar content. So here we are talking about personalizing messages, generating reports, different things of that nature. So yeah, this was a general understanding of the AI automation process. If you want more videos like this, let me know in the comments. If you want to have AI automation processes or automation processes implemented in your business, feel free to reach out and set a call together with me or my team. And with that said, hope this video was useful. Talk to you soon.